So again, welcome everybody to our October open house celebrating 100 years of Roosevelt School. I am Corey Taylor, the Office and Activities Coordinator for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. We are excited to be using this virtual format for our events. It took us a little while to get here, but we're really excited to continue to bring our unique history to the community through this virtual setting. We aren't going to be doing any live programming right now for the foreseeable future. All of our programming is going to be virtual. We hope that in the near future, we'll be able to return to in-person open houses and events. Until then, we will continue to offer an open house every month on the second Sunday at 1 p.m. And we will also be partnering with West Bloomfield Parks every month to do a secondary presentation. They'll be hosting that. Make sure to check our website and our social media pages for all the up-to-date links and registration information on all of those programs. And we hope to see you there. So before we begin, we'd like to hear a few words from our president, Gina Gregory. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. As Corey said, we are excited to be here. Virtually in the comfort of your home makes it easy for us to attend and participate. In case you don't know much about our organization, let me fill you in on a few details. It's a 46-year-old nonprofit volunteer organization whose mission is to collect, preserve, and stimulate public interest in the history of Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. Through our efforts, Apple Island was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2018. The Society provides many benefits to the community. We host the monthly open houses, as she says. We also have monthly speaker presentations, e-blast, social media, and YouTube videos are always available 24/7. We have other programs that are on hold with the COVID-19 restrictions, and they are group tours for private groups and West Bloomfield School District second grade students to visit Apple Island and the Orchard Lake Museum, research opportunities, and our annual Apple Island Tours event, which is our signature event highlighting our unique local history of Apple Island. So all of this adds value to the community, and we hope that you visit our website, gwbhs.org, to learn more about our history, sign up for e-blasts, and become a member.
Thank you, Gina. And for we have a special guest today. Representative Brenda Carter is here. She would like to say a few words about Roosevelt and present Roosevelt with a little tribute. So Representative Carter, go ahead. Oh, you're muted. Just there you go.
Thank you, Corey. And I had the pleasure of being at the presentation in Apple Island in 2018, as well as visiting the museum in Orchard Lake Village, which was quite incredible. But I'm here today to celebrate Roosevelt Elementary with the Cub Scout pack that I got to meet over there, as well as when I read to the third graders. They were just awesome. But today, from the state of Michigan, I have a special tribute that I'm going to read. To Roosevelt Elementary, let it be known that is with great respect for the role of this outstanding school has played educating our young people that we join the people of Keego Harbor in marking the 100th anniversary of the founding of Roosevelt Elementary. On behalf of the countless students and families who have been touched by the work that has taken place here, we offer our thanks in celebrating this milestone. Few activities draw more attention and pressure than those that take place in a school. In seeking to prepare students for the adult world of work, challenge, and responsibilities, our schools are, in reality, an extension of the community's hope and concerns for the future. This is no small task. To achieve its lofty goals, an institution like Roosevelt Elementary must be focused and unified. Roosevelt Elementary has attained its reputation for effectiveness through the hard work and sacrifice of teachers, staff, and parents who have worked together over these 100 years. Much has changed since Roosevelt Elementary opened its doors in 1920. The students who will fill the classroom now face a world in which change is likely to take place even faster. While they utilize tools to help them learn what their grandparents could never have imagined, they will still need the same skills of generations past. These skills include the ability to think clearly, to make decisions based on reason, and accept the responsibilities we all share as unselfish citizens. In this way, the impact that Roosevelt Elementary has had over the years will only grow stronger. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Roosevelt Elementary. We commend all the devoted educators, students, and staff who have contributed to the growth in its excellence. This document is signed by State Representative Brenda Carter, State Senator Rosemary Bear, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Congratulations, Roosevelt Elementary. Congratulations. Thank you, Corey.
All right, thank you, Representative Carter. Dr. Hill, Dr. Gerald Hill is the superintendent of West Bloomfield Schools, and Principal Ryan West of Roosevelt are both in attendance. So we're very excited that you were able to join us this morning, or this afternoon, rather.
Corey?
Yep.
I'd like to add that ex-principal retired principal Paul Lipson from Roosevelt's here as well.
All
Hi,
right.
Paul.
And this document will be presented to Roosevelt Elementary tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So Corey, if I may, I would like
Sure.
to, first of all, I'd like to thank you and Gina for putting this together, but a special thanks to Representative Carter for recognizing this quite accomplishment for Roosevelt and the entire West Bloomfield School District community. We're very proud of Roosevelt and its rich history. And I know having a retired Principal Paul Lipson and current Principal Ryan West sort of bookends on this event, that's sort of cool. But if you get a chance, when the COVID restrictions are over, there are some really neat pictures inside Roosevelt of all those graduating classes. And I know it's going to be covered in this presentation, but thank you, Representative Carter.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you all for being here. We would like to get started on our presentation. So before we begin, I'd like to mention that Civic Center TV is here as well. They're recording this presentation to be broadcast on Civic Center TV either today or at a later date. So if you would like to mute your microphones, that would be great. And if you'd like to leave your videos on, that's fine, that's up to you. But we are also recording this presentation for the Historical Society, for our archives. So lots of recording going on today. So just make sure you're muted. If you have any questions or comments, utilize the chat, which is either at the bottom of your screen or at the top, whether you have a PC or a Mac. So go ahead and ask any questions or make any comments you'd like. And at the end of the presentation, I'll do my very best to answer the questions that we get. So if everybody's all set to begin, I'll start my presentation. All right. In the early 1900s, West Bloomfield Township and Keego Harbor experienced a huge population boom. The automotive industry was thriving in the city of Detroit, allowing families to move out of the city and into the suburbs. Rural farms had prosperous years due to plentiful crops and harvests, and some farms even raised award-winning livestock like chickens, dairy cows, and pigs. Many people found work in the dairies, hotels, and factories located in Pontiac, like Pontiac Buggy, Pontiac Knitting Works, Andrews Furniture Factory, and Fisher Body. Estate farms in the area, like the Walter Flanders Farm, employed anywhere from 300 to 700 workers. Woodworkers, stonemasons, carpenters, boat builders, and private caretakers found work from the wealthy homeowners in the area. Vacationers and cottage owners coming out to Cass, Orchard, Pine, and Sylvan Lakes also needed food and laborers. The children of these families needed a place to attend school. In 1912, the Keego Harbor School, pictured here, was established. Classes were offered for kindergarten through 8th grade, but if you wanted more education than that, you had to travel to Pontiac to attend upper high school. This could become very costly and cumbersome for working families in the area, and it soon became very overcrowded with the children of the factory workers and farm families, along with the local children, all attending school in the same building. So the community decided to build a new school to accommodate the burgeoning population. In 1920, Roosevelt School was built. The original building consisted of 6 rooms and an office. It served students in kindergarten to 10th grade. In 1925, the first quote-unquote graduating class finished 10th grade. The class consisted of 7 graduates. Because Roosevelt wasn't big enough to house all 12 grades, students wishing to complete 11th and 12th grades had to petition the Board of Education to attend Pontiac High School. In 1928, grades 11 and 12 were added thanks to an $85,000 expansion, which would be about $1.2 million today. The expansion created 14 classrooms, a gym, an auditorium, and library for students and staff. This addition brought Roosevelt's first official graduating class of seniors in 1929, pictured here. The class consisted of 6 students, 5 girls, and 1 boy. Strong moral lessons were a major part of the curriculum at Roosevelt. Emphasis was placed on personal hygiene, responsibility, and love for country. By 1933, 25 students, pictured here, comprised the graduating class of seniors. Although it's now part of the West Bloomfield School District, since its inception, Roosevelt School has had a strong tie to the city of Keego Harbor. During the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, while Roosevelt was the high school, the student sports teams called themselves the Presidents. Their uniforms often had emblems for both Roosevelt and Keego Harbor. Their letter sweaters, similar to a letter jacket, even had both emblems on them as well. Let's take a look at one of those sweaters. This sweater is a letter sweater worn by a Roosevelt High School student, or Letterman. A Letterman is a high school or college student who has met a specified level of participation or performance on a varsity sports team. Varsity jackets trace their origins to letter sweaters, which were first introduced by the Harvard baseball team in 1865. The letter was usually quite large and centered on a sweater. Stripes on one sleeve designated the number of letters won, with a star indicating a team captain. The term Letterman comes from the practice of awarding each participant a cloth letter, which is usually the school's initial or initials, for placement on a sweater or a jacket like this one. In this case, the only letters on the sweater are a K and an H representing Keego Harbor. The sports teams at Roosevelt were also often referred to as the Keego Harbor Presidents, in addition to the Roosevelt Presidents. On this sweater, first you notice the absence of an R or anything representing Roosevelt School specifically. The only letters displayed are the K and the H for Keego Harbor. Additionally, at the bottom of the K, you see a small embroidered baseball, indicating that this particular Letterman was on the varsity baseball team. On the left sleeve, just below the shoulder, there's a 5 and a 0, indicating the graduation year for this particular Letterman was 1950. Below the year, there are 3 stripes sewn into the sleeve, representing 3 additional letters awarded to this baseball player during their high school career. Today, letters are often displayed on Letterman jackets with the letters sewn into one side of the jacket and the player's name on the other. Instead of sewn-in stripes, the Letterman would be awarded a patch with additional stripes or pins, which are generally pinned to the letter itself. Letterman jackets are no longer limited to sports teams now. Students can earn letters in other school activities like academics, band, orchestra, or performing arts. The 1940s brought another population boom to Keego Harbor. Sports became an important part of a well-rounded education. Both boys and girls teams won awards and district championships throughout the decade. Equal opportunity in sports was important at Roosevelt. The minutes from a 1941 board meeting reflect a resistance to put boys' games ahead of the girls. Quote, board makes following motion. Motion made by Mr. Russ, supported by Mr. Harding, that this board stands opposed to the league adoption prohibiting girls' games from being played along with the boys at night, unquote. This was dated December 14th, 1941. As some of you may know or may have guessed, this equal opportunity-based program that Roosevelt and West Bloomfield School District followed was a very progressive way of thinking, especially during the 1940s. Luckily, this method of conducting sports continued throughout the years and within the district. In 1942, to contribute to the war effort, students sold war stamps in a class competition. This article details an update on various class standings within the competition. Some classes have brought in less than $50, and others, like Mr. Blank's seniors, brought in over $200. Adjusting for inflation, these totals could be between a few hundred to a few $1,000s. By 1949, the West Bloomfield School District was consolidated with the Scotch and Green-Hosner districts into West Bloomfield District Number 5. Roosevelt's student population began to outgrow it once again. The building couldn't hold elementary school students and high school students together, so taxpayers voted to build the West Bloomfield High School on the corner of Orchard Lake and Commerce Roads. This building would later become Abbott Middle School. In 1954, a budget of $850 financed an 8-week run of supervised programs 5 days per week at Roosevelt Athletic Field. Local citizen groups sponsored the softball teams. That camp is still run today and continues to have a tremendous impact on students. Lindsay Gill, Roosevelt student from 1997 to 2003, says, quote, my time at Roosevelt was some of the most special times in my life. I attended Roosevelt from preschool to 5th grade. Every summer, I went to the Roosevelt Summer Camp held by Community Education and Karen Mebrod, who led such an amazing camp. I then volunteered there for 5 years before I was hired on as paid staff and spent even more summers at Roosevelt Summer Camp well into my 20s. Yes, that means I spent nearly 17 years involved in camp. I was so involved in Roosevelt because the opportunities were always there. I could go on and on about my great memories I had there, but I will end with saying that this elementary school is the greatest around. It shaped me in so many ways, and it has always given me a sense of comfort when I walk into those doors. Roosevelt will go down as top 5 favorite places for me, unquote. The following year, in 1955, the new West Bloomfield High School was completed. Roosevelt students in 9th through 12th grades moved to WBHS after the holiday break in December. Kindergarten through 8th graders remained at Roosevelt. Students who moved to the high school, who began their high school career at Roosevelt, wanted their graduation to be held at Roosevelt, but it instead took place at the new high school. During its reign as the district's sole high school, a total of 931 students graduated from Roosevelt High. In 1960, Roosevelt went through a series of upgrades, including mechanical and electrical improvements, new wiring, fluorescent lighting, a new boiler room, new flooring and ceilings, and plumbing upgrades. This article from 1959 from the Interlake News details a $400,000 bond that the West Bloomfield School District hoped to receive. In the last paragraph, you can see that the $250,000 was designated to Roosevelt for a much-needed heating equipment upgrade. In 1964, the West Bloomfield School District established the Head Start program at Roosevelt Elementary. The Head Start program is a federally funded program aimed at improving the health and education of low-income preschoolers. Introductory academic skills that students need for elementary school are primarily taught in this program. The program is now housed in the West Bloomfield Preschool Academy. In 1965, construction on West Bloomfield Junior High School was completed. This building, located on Orchard Lake between Walnut Lake and Maple, would later become Orchard Lake Middle School. All West Bloomfield District students in 7th and 8th grades went to the junior high, and Roosevelt became a kindergarten through 6th grade elementary school. 4 years later, West Bloomfield District Number 5 was renamed West Bloomfield School District, and Roosevelt remained a K-6 elementary school. In 1971, Roosevelt 6th graders moved to the newly named Orchard Lake Middle School, or OLMS, formerly West Bloomfield Junior High. Roosevelt became a kindergarten through 5th grade elementary school, as it remains today. In 1977, Roosevelt Elementary School was remodeled for the 3rd time. A study was done to determine if the school should be renovated or demolished, resulting in a $995,000 bond, which would be about $4.2 million today, to restore the building. An elevator was installed to permit access for disabled students and staff, and coal furnaces were replaced with new boilers. According to this League of Women's Voters Guide to West Bloomfield Schools, published in 1977, Roosevelt had one of the best equipped and staffed media centers of any elementary school in the state of Michigan. In 1978, Roosevelt Elementary established the Magnet Program for academically talented students in grades 3 to 5. Selected students from each of the district's elementary schools attended this program, which provided special components like student-teacher contracting and mini courses, along with a literary guild, independent research projects, and frequent field trips. Roosevelt Elementary continued to be an exemplary school throughout the latter half of the 20th century. In 1992, the state of Michigan awarded the school with the Blue Ribbon Exemplary School Award. Established in 1982, the Michigan Department of Education's Blue Ribbon Exemplary Schools program celebrates many of Michigan's most successful schools. Blue Ribbon Exemplary Schools model excellence and equity. They exhibit a strong commitment to educational excellence for all students. Blue Ribbon schools offer instructional programs that meet the highest academic standards, have supportive and learning-centered school environments, and demonstrate student outcome results that are significantly above average or have improved over time. Roosevelt was not the only school in the district to win a Blue Ribbon. Abbott, Olms, Doherty, Chico, Scotch, and the high school have all been Blue Ribbon schools over the years. In 1995, Roosevelt underwent its 4th renovation. The entire building was wired for network technology, a new media center was added along with 2 kindergarten classrooms, the old art room and old kindergarten classrooms were converted into offices, Velcro walls lined the hallways, paint, carpeting, lighting, and plumbing enhancements were also made. In 1996, Roosevelt's parent community group completed the community-built playscape. Over 400 volunteers participated in a 4-day event to build grounds and play structures. The school received the Michigan Week Award for the playground project. In 1998, Roosevelt received its 5th set of improvements. Air conditioning was added to all the classrooms, the gym floor and stage were renovated, and chalkboards were replaced with whiteboards. In 2003, multi-purpose and distance learning rooms were constructed along with the community room, and technology was updated and the ball field was installed. In 2005, significant technology and plumbing upgrades were made and the wall coverings were replaced. Additionally, the Roosevelt Remembers Wall was installed. Dedicated on May 20th, 2005 at the Michigan Week breakfast celebration at Roosevelt Elementary School, the hallway exhibit features class pictures and school memorabilia from 1920 to 1955. All 30 high school class pictures were found and framed, with the exception of 1944 and 1945. The exact reason for their absence isn't known for sure, but can most likely be attributed to World War II. The years 1948 and 1954 boast the largest number of graduates with 60 students each. This photo shows 1938 graduate Anna Mae Tucker next to her class picture. She's pointing to her senior picture, shown here on the last row, second from the right. In 2015, to celebrate Roosevelt's 95th anniversary, a commemorative bell tower was installed on the school grounds. Based on historic photographs, the 30-inch bell is thought to be the original Keego Harbor school bell. The bell tower was designed and crafted by West Bloomfield High School alum Rob Lasky. Rob, of Railroad Ironworks, also designed and crafted the bell tower that houses the Green School Bell on the grounds of the Orchard Lake Museum. And now, in 2020, Roosevelt School celebrates its 100th year. Roosevelt is the oldest continuously operating school building in Oakland County and continues to be an integral part of the West Bloomfield School District and Keego Harbor community. Roosevelt is the district's designated STEAM school and has a project-based curriculum. Students learn through hands-on projects, utilizing makerspaces and working in small groups. In 2019, the school launched its first annual 5th grade class legacy project, debuting with the Roosevelt Lending Library. Check it out.
You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
In an effort to improve long-lasting reading habits in the community, Roosevelt Elementary designed a project that will bring books to anyone at any time. Jay Kustash brings us the story.
I'm here at Roosevelt Elementary, where students and staff are unveiling their brand new lending library.
So a lending library is a library that the school is going to provide to the community where students can come out and pick up books throughout the summer. So one of the things that we want to promote here at Roosevelt is getting books in the hands of kids within our community, and students will have access to books 24/7 anytime they pull up in front of the school.
This lending library was put together by a variety of people, but the students and Keego Harbor Optimist Club took the lead on this legacy project.
You know, members of the community was here, there was city council here, city manager, school board members, teachers, and we had kids. So it was a wide variety of people came to help. And then all the support with the people I got on Facebook. Oh, if you need any money, if you need something, let me know.
So this is actually our first annual legacy project for Roosevelt Elementary. Our 5th grade students, starting this year and moving forward, each year they're going to select a legacy that they want to leave behind. So knowing that we want to promote reading within our school and knowing that we want to get books out into the community, our students voted this year on picking a lending library. They went through the design process. As a STEAM school, we promote design and engineering, so they went through the design process, constructed and built the lending library as the way that they can be remembered as they move on to middle school.
I like the idea of a legacy project. I helped build my high school sign, and it's been 40 years. I still go by one with a grin on my face. So I sort of want those kids to have that same experience.
Roosevelt is the only elementary school to provide a shop and skilled trades class, and their lending library is a direct result of it.
We have a STEAM project-based learning curriculum that we use at Roosevelt Elementary, and we have what's called a maker space. So we have like a shop within our school that was donated by Lowe's, and some volunteers through Keego Optimists and Lowe's that come in, and they work on project-based learning with students all the way from kindergarten to 5th grade. So they will come in and talk with teachers, find out what curriculum the students are learning at that point, and then they'll get to go into the shop and actually build things. So they've built birdhouses, they've built planters, they built the lending library, just trying to provide students with authentic learning opportunities so that they can take those skills into the classroom and out into real life when they end up moving to middle school, high school, and beyond that.
The focus on reading was not forgotten when constructing the library, and those involved wanted to make sure that these books would benefit both the school children and the community.
Always the better readers are accelerating, and if they don't get it, they can't go on. They stop right there when they get stuck. They stop and they don't listen the next half hour because they're stuck.
This lending library will be available to anybody that pulls up in front of Roosevelt and wants to borrow a book. And it's really on the honor system. The goal is that if you take a book and you read it, you're either going to bring a book to replace, and you leave a book, you take a book, or when you're done reading it, you bring the book back. Really just trying to reach out to the Keego community and the West Bloomfield community to bring the love of reading here to Roosevelt and out into the homes. I'm very proud of the work that was put in by the teachers this year, by the students, and we're very excited next year to start right back at the drawing board to decide what next year's 5th graders want to leave as their lasting legacy here at Roosevelt.
You know, I'm totally exhausted, but this made it worth it. You know, and I want to thank for the community, for everybody coming out here and helping, and all the nice, kind words on Facebook. Thank you.
The lending library will provide books and knowledge to the community for many years to come, all thanks to the Optimist Club and, of course, the students. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Jay Kustash.
For more information, you can visit civiccentertv.com/lendinglibrary.
Thanks for
Obviously, things have changed a great deal for Roosevelt in its 100th year. The 5th grade class of 2020 was not able to do their legacy project this year, but hopefully in the next few years, we'll be able to, the school will be able to start that up again. Students and teachers and staff have had to pivot to online and virtual learning like everyone throughout the world. The STEAM curriculum has been completely changed to accommodate proper social distancing, and any students opting to attend 100% virtual schooling. The classrooms have been transformed and have very few people in them. Project-based learning has been put on hold until it's safe to utilize once again. Luckily for the students of Roosevelt, West Bloomfield School District had already been utilizing a lot of current technology in their curriculum. Students were provided with laptops they could complete their lessons and assignments from home. But none of these changes have stopped the Roosevelt Huskies. Teachers and staff continue to bring their school together, even from home. Happy birthday, Roosevelt! So that ends my portion of the presentation today. So I'm going to switch off my screen and start answering any questions that have come up. All right, so looks like no questions.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I can tell you that beyond making the bell tower for Roosevelt School and Scotch School, Rob Lasky also made one for the Green Bell School, which is now outside of the Orchard Lake Museum. It was put up last year. It's much shorter due to the space that it's in, but we like it being there and appreciate it. Hats off to Rob Lasky and his good work.
Definitely. So we've got a couple people. I used to love looking at the Roosevelt History Wall when I was a reading consultant there. Love our teachers and staff. Yay, Huskies. When is the next planned renovation? I don't know. If there will be a renovation, it probably won't be soon because of COVID restrictions. You know, the school district has some pretty tight safety policies to protect the students and the staff. So if anybody's looking for information on the renovations or any improvements that the building's doing, check out their website on the school, the Roosevelt's website on the school district's page, and that's about as far as I know. I can go from 2020 and previously, but going forward, I'm not the best source of knowledge for that. Awesome way to end the show with dancing. Yep. In all of my practice presentations, that song always ended up stuck in my head for the rest of the day. So it's a pretty good song to have stuck in your head. All right. So does anybody else? Oh, had great teachers at Roosevelt in the mid 1960s, though I don't think any of them could dance like the current staff can. I can't dance like the current staff can, so I give them a lot of credit for that. All right, does anybody else have any other questions? Thank you for all of the compliments. I appreciate that. All right, well, if nobody has any more questions or comments, we'll end it here. Like Gina said at the beginning, our next presentation is going to be Thursday, October 15th at 7 p.m. with Jamon Jordan. He's going to be doing a presentation on Great Black Women of Detroit. And then the next week on Wednesday, October 21st at 7 p.m., I'll be doing the presentation again with the Wayside Outdoor Exhibits. Gina, go ahead.
And the only thing to remember is with West Bloomfield Parks is you need to register for the program so they can send you the Zoom link, and you need to do that the day before. So plan ahead so that you can attend.
Yeah, and these programs are free, so you shouldn't be charged anything when you register. And when you do register, you'll get the link to join the program later on. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to Representative Carter and Principal West and Dr. Hill for all joining us, and Civic Center TV for recording it. Well, we'll see you all at the next one. Have a good afternoon.